I'm going to take this opportunity because this is going to be on the agenda from now on as an opportunity to brag. So tonight I'm going to brag on our tourism department. I was going to give you a brag on each department individually, but you'd be here till midnight and then I thought, well, it would take away from each department if I did them all at once. So I'm going to pick on Tammy's department and how awesome they are. But I wanted to first off congratulate Tammy and team for being the #1 small historic town in America. Third time in a row. #1 historic small town in America. I got it right finally. So, that means another plaque. Maybe we'll combine them all and have one plaque for all three. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But what an awesome opportunity. Just about 3 years ago, about this same time, we hired Tammy. And what a breath of fresh air she has brought to our tourism industry. We had a rough time with COVID, and she persevered through that and maintained a level of business that none of our competitors were able to do. So what a great asset we have with Tammy and her team, and she's hired a great group of people. And more than that, she's recruited over 40 volunteers, and they serve. And the value of that last year was over $50,000 if you added it up and put a value to that per hour of volunteerism. So that's pretty incredible. But we've also been named the best lunch stop city with the Great Race. TTIA also gave us the 2019 Best Rural Small Towns in Texas. Granbury, Alpine, and Rockport were there. And last year she received 11 marketing awards for our tourism department from the Texas Association of Fairs and Events. So that's pretty awesome. That was 2021, basically. It was this year, I guess. Seemed like last year, sorry. But more importantly, the hotel industry is very strong here, and we see that as a result of great marketing efforts by our tourism department. And I've got to brag because we have hit an all-time high in hotel occupancy tax this year at $920,366. That's pretty awesome. Our sales tax for the year was up 12% compared to the previous year, which is pretty substantial as well. And part of that is due to tourism, spending money in our community and helping keep the economy going. Our square has been transforming more into an entertainment district. I don't know if you've noticed that, and that generates more sales tax revenue. We are going to do a study to see where we're at with sales tax revenue percentage to the city overall compared to what it used to be. We've got those old numbers. I think we're going to do that again and see what the square is doing and see the vibrancy of the sales tax dollars that are going on there. But all that ties together and works together. Whether you're spending money on 377 or 144 or on the square or on Highway 51, it all adds up, and it takes people stirring around the community to do that. There's a lot of things on this first page. The Great Race Weekend partnership, we even got Crescent to pitch in money. Tammy went and hit them up, and they participated with us. And in fact, they were excited to be able to spend some of their hotel money on something that would benefit them. So it did, and they took some of the race over there to the track, and it was a great partnership. She just completed the Tough Mudder event, brought in about 6,000 runners. Those are hotel rooms too. The Spartan event 2 weeks prior to that. And so altogether we had over 15,000 people in attendance for those events. We were going to lose that business. They'd been going to Glenrose, and they lost their venue over there, and Tammy overheard that. And you know how Tammy is. She's going to go get them. So she was successful. She raised local stakeholders to help fund this thing. We contributed local stakeholders and city funds and in-kind services. We provided $93,000 worth of incentives to them to make this commitment for those two events this year. And they tell us that they're coming back next year if we'll continue to subsidize them. So they get that wherever they go. So we're lucky that they usually get $100,000 or they don't go. But Tammy blinked her eyes at them and got them to come anyway. So Something else that we never experienced before was the Headless Horseman Sleepy Hollow experience at the Langdon Center. That's an outdoor venue for music and arts, and man, she knocked it out of the park getting those guys to come, and then they've decided to come back for 18 more shows to do the Christmas Carol. So that's coming up right around the corner, and of course the sesquicentennial celebration was huge. And she served on that committee with some of these others in this room that really did an outstanding job. And, my job is easy whenever I got Tammy taking care of that stuff. So she's been able to do that. The Goosebump Jump will return in January. And that is the one and only event that we as a city actually put on. The rest are events that are put on by volunteers and groups and businesses that want to have an event. And we simply walk them through the permitting process. Sometimes it's a big enough piece of business to incentivize, and she does that. And also, if there's people coming to town, she works with the hoteliers and asks for a request for proposals to give those hoteliers an opportunity to get that business to their hotel, and they can submit bids. And so they've done that with about 6,000 room nights last year, and it's really made a big difference. And she also includes the hoteliers in monthly meetings and shows them all the things that we're doing to market their business. We understand that we can't be completely responsible for every hotel room that gets rented, but we try to spend their hotel tax dollars to try to stimulate their economy the best we can, and at the same time stimulate our economy. And there's lots of ways you can spend those dollars, and we're investing those dollars back into advertising and marketing as best we can, and paying the bills at the tourism center. Our website is out of this world. We get about 650,000 hits just this year already. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a great program. It's called Simple View is the software, and it has all kinds of features to track who's looking at us and how to get them to come here and to follow up with them. The social media is out of this world. We've got Mary Lester working with our group, and she works real hard to get those posts out there with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. I didn't know we was doing Pinterest till I saw this report. So that seems to be our biggest view is on Pinterest. 32,000 views this year on Pinterest. Just this year, 32,000 people on Pinterest looking at us. That's crazy. My wife looks at Pinterest. I don't look at Pinterest. I don't have Pinterest. I thought that's where you go to learn how to make special dishes or knit something special. I didn't know, some kind of crafty thing. I didn't know tourism was there. We've got a lot of Visit Granbury brand awareness going on. The hashtag Granbury Love. Wow, what a success. All kinds of awards. I'm going to sing to you back there, Tony. Granbury Love. Anyway, she's been able to get us on YOLO, Texas, and being able to get us the filming of a Yellowstone or 1883 episode here, and y'all saw some of that. And thank goodness Bethany, our previous communication director, walked us through the process to be ready for that. We had a permit process in place because our communication department had gone to some training and came back, and we set that up. And so when Tammy came and said, "What do we do?" I said, "It's easy. Go down to the permit department. They'll walk you through it." So it was great that was all there, and it was a success. They came and had no problems. So not one time did we get a call that said we weren't doing something we were supposed to be doing. So she works with Rise and Grind. I don't know if y'all have had a chance to attend that. Every Friday morning at 9 o'clock, everybody shows up and they get to brag about their business or an event that they're having, and it's just a good time to meet and greet people. And I've actually met people at that Rise and Grind event where I do business with them now. So it's a good opportunity, kind of like the Chamber of Commerce, but it's a little different. They do work hand in hand with the Chamber of Commerce and the HGMA on a regular basis. You know, those people make things happen in our community, and Tammy's right there fanning the flames for them to do that. We've been in the parades. Tammy's had boats and stuff in the parades, and getting ready for another one in a couple of weeks. I guess 2 Fridays from now we'll have another one. And you know, what's really good too is the great relationship that our city has with Hood County News. We've really seen some great articles come through that promote tourism, and Tammy has worked with their staff to facilitate that. We really appreciate that. As I mentioned earlier, we got, over 40 volunteers. The foodie trail was reactivated, has been a big success, and people are actually participating in it. I'm guilty. I forget to get my card stamped. Anyway, I've covered a bunch of stuff that's here, and I'm going to wrap it up pretty quick. But the conference center is something that we've really focused on. We had a rough year with COVID. We had a lot of events we had to cancel. I think there was about 60 events we had to cancel last year. And we lost money at the conference center like every other city did, but not as much as every other city. We were still able to get some business, and we're booked up. It's really happening and hopping over there, and that's due to Tammy and her staff that she's put together. And they just got a great team. And man, we had there was a city function there, not a city, but a Jewel Ball nonprofit function there this last weekend, and it was so great. We as a council invested a lot of money in the sound and audio system there, and everything was working perfect. We got great operators. We got people that understand which knobs to turn to make things balance, and it's just good. You got a lot of money invested. I think we spent about $350,000 on the audio visual upgrade for that entire building, and it just is the best anywhere, and so it's just great. So let me just tell you some personal growth that she's experienced since she's been here. In 2019, Tammy received a Certified Festival and Event Associate designation, and then just the other day she received Certified Festival and Event Executive designation. So there's not many people with that certification. So hats off to you there, Tammy. She also received the Servant's Heart Award from the Cats Fest. Over the member of the cigar festival that we had, they gave her an award because she had all of her heart into that deal. She's appointed and serves as a board of directors, Texas Association of Fairs and Events State Board. So that's some responsibility that she's doing behind the scenes to support us on a statewide basis that she may not get credit for, that you're certainly not going to be aware of it if I don't tell you. She's been successful getting us some free articles in the Texas Town and City Magazine, Texas County magazines, and the International Festival and Event Association magazine. Those are free write-ups that we were able to get some exposure. But what I'm trying to tell you about our tourism department is we are running a first-class organization. I can't think of any place that's doing any more or doing any better. I'd say that we can compete with the Dallases and the Fort Worths of the world and the Corpus Christis and the San Antonios all day long. We're out there putting it out there just like they do, and I think we're being more effective per dollar and return on investment because of our small size. So, Tammy, thank you for all you do at our department.